Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
All right, guys. So you seen that, you heard that. Tucker Carlson is back. Okay, he's hinting that he's going to see us soon and that essentially he's not going away. Okay, and that is probably the mainstream liberal media's worst nightmare because they've been hoping and praying that Tucker Carlson goes away forever, right? Because he has more listeners across the aisle. He has a bigger audience than anybody on cable news. So you know that they're probably shaking in their boots saying that Tucker Carlson is not going away after being fired from Fox News. Now, for what reason? We really don't know. Okay, I've seen 1,000 videos on the real reason Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News. It seems to be all the above, okay? I mean, the latest rumor is that he got fired over prayer talk, okay? Apparently, this freaked out Rupert Murdoch because apparently Tucker Carlson was being too religious, okay? He had too much religious stuff going on in his programming here. Let's read a little bit about this because, again, this is just another one of the rumors that, coming out about why Tucker Carlson got fired. Tucker Carlson may have been fired from Fox News after going too hard on prayer talk, according to a new report in Vanity Fair. A source briefed on Fox Core Chair Rupert Murdoch's decision-making said Carlson was ousted over remarks he made during a speech Friday night at the Heritage Foundation's 50th anniversary gala in Maryland, according to Vanity Fair's Gabriel Sherman. The source said Carlson's speech was laced with religious overtones that were too extreme for Murdoch. During the address, Carlson called abortion child sacrifice, cast American politics as a battle between good and evil, and suggested the solution was taking 10 minutes a day to say a prayer about it. The source told Vanity Fair, quote, "That stuff freaks Rupert out. He doesn't like all the spiritual talk," the source said. Yeah, so who knows, man? Right? Who knows? With that being said, we do have another reason Tucker was fired. One of his former producers at the show, a female producer, is suing Fox News for alleged sexism and misogyny in the workplace, okay, in which she allegedly showed up to work and saw that Tucker Carlson had pictures, or his team had pictures of Nancy Pelosi in a bathing suit. And this is what she said on MSN as she's making her rounds in her, 5 minutes of fame and glory. Take a look.
I was hoping that it would be more professional and what he was portraying on air was just a show. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
So when do you realize that?
Immediately. I show up first day of work, and I know that this is a popular one. It's been widely publicized. There are literally pictures like this big of Nancy Pelosi in a bathing suit in Europe, plastered all over. There was even one on my computer screen for the temporary computer I had to use, and I had to take it down just to work. Within a few days there, I was called into Justin Wells' office with Alex McCaskill, who was a senior producer as well, and asked if Maria was having an affair with Kevin McCarthy. It was just, I was shocked. I couldn't even believe it. When I got to Tucker, it was different. And as a text that came out revealed my suspicions, he was looking for ratings bait, purely, and was also looking for power. It was a combination of ratings and power and manipulating the audience, and manipulating also the political system. There was an aspect of, I can pick who the House Speaker is. I can pick who the President of the United States is, or who the Republican candidate's going to be. And I thought that was really dangerous and didn't want that kind of power. I didn't want to have Senate candidates calling me and being very upset. Are you going to destroy our whole campaign tonight? Because he could do that. And he would call and tell them that if you don't participate or you don't come on the show, we will destroy you. And I was told to tell that to congressmen sometimes, and I didn't. How can I? That was disrespectful. So in addition to the misogyny and the sexism and the anti-Semitism, there was also just this sort of moral growth with me where I reached a breaking point because of all of those things, and I literally did not want to do it anymore. It felt disgusting. I stopped watching news when I came home. I didn't watch anything. I just didn't want to because I was so depressed and disillusioned by the entire media system because of Tucker.
Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff, right? Absolutely amazing stuff, okay? The allegations I find that she is alleging against Tucker Carlson and Fox News is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. I think it's hilarious. If they actually have a picture of Nancy Pelosi in a bathing suit, right? They actually had that. That is funny as hell, okay? Again, I think that it sounds to me like Tucker Carlson's work environment was kind of based, right? Apparently, they made a whole bunch of hilarious jokes in Tucker's office. Now, again, this is not Tucker himself, but this is, I guess, a producer that worked for Tucker. It made jokes like, for example, that they would never win the $10,000 Inclusion Ambassador of the Year, or that he would never win that award because Tucker Carlson's team is entirely white. He also made jokes about how a breastfeeding room or a mother's room in the office was a waste of space and should be replaced by a tanning bed for dudes to tan their testicles, which is something that Tucker promoted in his documentary about men and testosterone levels declining in men, okay? It seems like Tucker wanted his office to be a quintessential kind of like fratty, like, you know, boys, like, you know, playpen or whatever, right? At least that's what it sounds like from this lawsuit and what this person is alleging. Again, I just find some of the stuff I read to be hilarious. Now, again, some of the stuff that she's saying is obviously, you know, inappropriate and you can define as, you know, sexual harassment or whatever. But a lot of stuff I'm reading, I'm like, bro, sound kind of lit, right? Sounds like I would have loved to have been a part of Tucker's team, okay? But apparently it was all white, right? So apparently, maybe, just maybe, I would have been qualified. Who knows, okay? Good thing I got my own show. But I'm just saying, I found it to be absolutely hilarious. And one of the other things she said about Tucker that, again, just makes me question a whole bunch of this stuff is that, oh, well, he was in it for the ratings, right? He was trying to get ratings. And I'm like, well, who in the media is not trying to get ratings, right? If you're not trying to get people to watch your stuff, what are you doing, right? The whole point is to try to get people to watch your stuff, right? More so than anything, a lot of this is entertaining. If you're not entertaining, if you're not engaging, if you're not captivating your audience, it doesn't matter what you say because nobody's listening to you, okay? So you got to do your best to try to combine truth and entertainment. You have to entertain your audience, okay? Otherwise, again, they're not going to watch it. It doesn't matter how much truth you spread. If nobody's watching, if nobody's listening, then it doesn't matter. yes, ratings are basically everything in television and media. It is what it is. You might not like it, but wanting ratings and viewership and being obsessed with that is no different than what anybody else is obsessed with in the media. So, in my opinion, there's really nothing groundbreaking that she's saying. Sounds to me like the typical, salty, female worker that got fired, and then all of a sudden they experienced all this misogyny and harassment and sexism and, gender pay discrimination. We've seen this before, right? We've seen this playbook before. But again, based off Tucker Carlson's message here that he put out, which again, I really love because he is essentially sticking to his messaging, which was anti-establishment. He comes out and say, look, nobody's really speaking the truth. Nobody's really having conversations about the key issues in this country and that we're dealing with in the world because the mainstream liberal media and woke corporate America and the Democrats and Republicans as well too, the establishment, they've deemed these conversations to be off limits, right? We can't have these conversations. And again, this is why I say that Tucker's voice was the most important on television, whether you agree with the guy or not. There's a reason why he had so many Democrats and Republicans watching him. He was the most watched host on television for both parties. The reason why is because he was anti-establishment. He was willing to have those tough conversations that you just won't see on mainstream liberal media. You won't even see a lot of it on Fox News, to be quite honest with you. So, it seems to me based off, what he's saying that he's not going anywhere and that he's going to be back. And I'm excited about what he's going to do next. Okay. The guy is a superstar. He has inspired me. His predecessor, Bill O'Reilly, inspired me as well, too. I used to watch a lot of Bill O'Reilly back in the day, right? Both of those guys, in my opinion, are some of the best to ever do it, along with Rush Limbaugh. And again, that's why I know for certain, at least in Tucker's case, he's a lot younger than Bill O'Reilly. Bill might have aged out of the industry, right? He's still doing his thing, but he's not nearly as relevant as he used to be. But I know Tucker, because he's young, he's still got years on him. He's such a captivating character that he's going to be back, okay? He's going to be back, and this is not the end for him. So we'll see what comes next. I do find it interesting that he announced this on Twitter, okay? A lot of people are now getting on Twitter and saying that, you know what? We're going to put out videos on Twitter. We're going to take advantage of Elon Musk's more free speech friendly platform. Maybe that has something to do with what he's going to do next. Who knows? But regardless, I'm excited. And, hey, I can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.